Welcome to the Inside Killeen podcast brought to you by KDH News. I'm your host, Kevin Limitsy, and today we will be discussing ICE and immigration issues, which is a huge hot topic. And I think we have a couple of people here today that can help shed light on some of the issues involved with it as they relate to Bell County and to the city of Killeen, and more broadly speaking, the entire country. First, we have Louie Minor, Bell County Commissioner for Precinct 4. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And we also have Brent Johnson, Military Editor for KDH News. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Good, not bad. So let me just start off with this. A couple weeks ago, the Bell County Commissioner's Court heard from ICE representatives about mandating that the Bell County Sheriff's Office adopt a warrant officer program, and this is because of Senate Bill 8. So I know that it's mandated and I know it hasn't been voted on officially, but it sounds like the sheriff does want to get it kind of rolling. So I was just wondering, like, what impact would that have on Bell County and the sheriff's office?
So SB 8, that was passed this last legislative session, that mandates any county over 100,000, mandates the sheriff of any county over 100,000 to enter into a 287G program with ICE. So that's what we're talking about. Now the 287G program, it has 3 options that you could choose from to participate in. And what the sheriff elected to do is to participate in the Warrant Service Officer Program. This written agreement will not come back to the Commissioner's Court. It's not required to. But SB 8 did not mandate the 287G program to go into effect until December of 2026. That's when all counties that met that threshold was required to have a written agreement in place. So to me, it seems like our sheriff is eagerly aggressive to start participating in this program. What ICE told the court that day is that it typically sees about 10 cases per week in Bell County. That equates to about a little over 500 immigrants that are in Bell County Jail for other reasons, and then go ahead and get picked up for removal for ICE detainers.
Yeah, and the county judge, David Blackburn, he seemed surprised by the number of cases. And what do you think of that number, 10 cases a week? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, I monitor our jail population. We get a report every day, daily reports. So, we see how many are coming in that our immigration holds. So it's not a lot, but, that could easily change if enforcement changes and Bell County becomes a target for enforcement.
And do you think that seems likely, given the fact that Texas is, broadly speaking, a Republican state, and at least on the surface, it seems like ICE is more targeting Democratic cities and states? Yes,
well, I mean, Killeen is a Democratic city, so it definitely would meet that threshold of what you just mentioned. The people that are coming here, there's just so many strings to pull and unwind with this. But with Trump getting rid of the temporary, the TRP program, and you're going to have to help me with that, but that's the temporary...
Are you referring to temporary protective status?
There you go, I'm sorry.
Temporary. There's a lot of acronyms to have to remember.
The temporary protective status, he got rid of that, so there's hundreds of thousands of people that immediately became illegal when just, a day before they were legal.
Yeah.
These people are here working, they're creating lives in here, and keep in mind, all this is civil. It's not a criminal charge. So, people, they do say, come here legally, come here the right way. Even if someone comes here and they overstay their visa, which most of them are visa overstays, or they're here because their temporary protected status got removed. This is still a civil matter. It is not a criminal. There's no Class A, there's no felony or anything like that. It's a civil procedure, and that's what people need to understand.
Yeah. But I guess aesthetically, are people going to be seeing masked ICE agents roaming around Killeen in the near future, do you think?
No. So the Warrant Service Officer Program, it allows Bell County jailers and deputies that are working in the jail, they're empowered and they're going to get training and empowered to enforce some of the ICE, the federal statutes in the jail. So I think right now we have to notify ICE, then they have to come and serve the civil warrant, execute that civil warrant, then that's kind of the process. I believe that our jailers are going to be able to do that, so ICE doesn't have to come and serve those warrants. And then they actually been picking up our immigration holds pretty quickly. I think within 24 hours, 48 hours, they're picking up them and moving them to a federal facility.
And now, Kevin and I were kind of spitballing about this earlier today. We were kind of talking about, so that kind of means that this will look a little bit different than say the raids at Home Depots and stuff in California, right? It's not going to be just guys with masks with no identity. It's mostly going to be local law enforcement. Is that right?
In the jail, operating in the jail. So,
operating in the jail.
In the jail, yeah. They're not going to be out in the community doing raids or doing enforcements. That's the task force model of the 287G program.
Okay.
But yeah, with the warrant service model, that's not going to be the case. But there's nothing saying that the sheriff can't change that what we participate in, or maybe even sign another one agreeing to participate in that. It's we just have to keep an eye on what's going on with our elected officials and hold them accountable, because I don't think anyone wants masked police officers running around and picking people up simply because or even engaging with people simply by the color of their skin.
And Brent, you've been working on a story that's coming out pretty soon, I think. Can you talk about a man who got picked up in Belton? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So basically, and this is I'm gonna file this for, I'd say, about Sunday, this coming Sunday. It's something I've just been kind of working on almost on the side the past month, because I'm the military editor here, and this is a little bit outside my wheelhouse, even though that some might argue ICE is acting somewhat as a paramilitary force. But we got a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of Texas maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it kind of stuck out to me because normally they'll send out press releases that we got 200 or 300 immigration cases started here. Now, in this case, it was just one person, and it wasn't somebody who really seemed like he'd done any crazy, terroristic crimes or anything. Belton police, it turns out, picked him up after a traffic stop because they found less than 2 ounces of marijuana in his gas cap after pulling him over for no front plates, I believe it was. So I just thought it was interesting. So I've been trying to follow what exactly happened to this guy. Went and got a Pacer account, which anybody can do, and it might cost a buck or two to pull up a particular case or a list of cases. But I think it can be worthwhile for people that want to track this kind of thing and have a few extra dollars to spare. So I looked this guy up. He had a couple of different names that he went under. His name was Bladovino Merlano. He lived until just recently, until July. He lived in Belton, and he was picked up, and then he went to federal court because the Bell County Sheriff's Office, once he was booked into jail, they filed an immigration detainer, or ICE filed an immigration detainer. I'm still not entirely clear on who does what part of that paperwork, but and then he was taken to the federal courthouse in Waco and ended up pleading guilty. No marijuana charges were filed. No possession charges seemed to end up anywhere. So those just kind of disappeared, and he pled guilty to 2 counts of misdemeanor, basically immigration related crimes, I guess, because I guess it is a crime to not notify of an address change after within 10 days or something like that. And he also wasn't carrying his alien registration card on his person, which it seems to indicate that he did have one, but he just didn't have it on him while he was in the car. So, and I've just been kind of following this guy. I even talked to the records clerk at Bell County Sheriff's, and they said that they checked a box. They wouldn't release the paperwork because they said it was federal paperwork, and apparently a box was checked though that he was either a member of a foreign terrorist organization or otherwise a threat to national security or public safety. So, and I've been trying to get a hold of anybody who could speak more on why. The U.S. Attorney's Office wouldn't say anything, and the ICE is pretty much unreachable to media. I've emailed them twice this year, and I've never gotten a response from them. I'm not sure if anybody's even tasked with answering emails for ICE Public Affairs, but if they are, anybody listening, please respond to my email or answer a phone, because I've called the tip line. Didn't seem like many options to talk to a human being on the other end of the line, and I've called.
If he had any family in Belton?
I'm not sure. I found some of his social media stuff, and it kind of cuts off around like 2023 or 2024. I just don't really know much about this guy. He was in his 20s. What was interesting is actually one of the previous addresses that they had for him was in Aurora, Colorado, which led me to kind of down a rabbit hole of, I don't know if you remember those, back in 2024, there was all this talk on especially conservative news media that Aurora, Colorado was a place that was pretty much overrun with Tren de Aragua, which is a Venezuelan street gang, and or prison gang, or something like that. Now that's considered a foreign terrorist organization, of course, by the Trump administration. So what's kind of interesting is he lived in one of those apartments, this individual did, that was at the center of all that. And all of that started, by the way, from a landlord who, like a property management company from New York that wasn't really managing their apartments very well, and their tenants were saying like, oh well, we're gonna sue because this is a horrible place to live, and they were like,
is that where they're eating the dogs and cats too?
No, this is something different.
That was about Haitian immigrants. And
I believe the Aurora, Colorado was when one landlord or somebody, without much evidence, suggested that the apartment had been taken over by a gang.
Yeah. Well, that was their excuse not to fix things. We can't go in there and maintain our properties because there's too many gang members. And of course, somebody decided to seize on that, and of course that was amplified by the current president when he was a candidate for office, I believe.
You never hear our elected officials, our government officials in Austin or D.C. talking about, let's go after the employers that employ the illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants. Let's go after them. They don't do it.
Yeah,
So,
funny enough, Colorado actually did go after that landlord, and he now has a. I don't know if there's any news in the past like few days since I checked it last, but the CEO of that property management company he has a warrant out for his arrest because he skipped a hearing for a lawsuit like from the state of Colorado. So it kind of tells you a little bit about it.
That'll do it. No, it's, here locally, here in stores like that, we know at least 10 a week are happening. And those are people that they're establishing roots here. They're establishing, they're participating in our government or in our workforce. They're participating in our economy. And, good, bad, or indifferent, because of our broken immigration system, they're simulating into our culture, our communities. So definitely, we need a federal immigration reform and not federal, enforcement, at least the way that we have done now.
Yeah, one of the things that sticks out to me from what Brent's talking about, trying to contact ICE to find out any information about what's going on, it just seems that there is a established lack of transparency about some of these things. And I guess I would be concerned if a similar thing were to happen in Killeen and in Bell County more broadly, that we're not able to track these cases or find out exactly what is going on before it's already too late.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I was wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about an issue that's affecting you personally. Can you talk about a little bit about your husband and what he's going through right now?
Yeah, so we were in this process. He was a Venezuelan immigrant that came here and got temporary protected status under the Biden administration, eligible to work, do all those things. And then in that process of getting a green card and going, it's a lengthy process. They don't make it easy, and so you got to fill out paperwork. You got to jump through all these hoops, which I get it, but when Trump ended, because President Biden extended the temporary protected status of the Venezuelans. And as soon as Trump got sworn in, that was one of the first things he ended. So immediately he became, quote unquote, illegal. But we were already into that process of getting his green card here. But there was that limbo. And then going to immigration in San Antonio, appointments. You heard that they're picking up people at appointments. So we were going down to San Antonio not knowing, are they going to arrest him, or is this just going to be a routine interview like we're supposed to be going for? Mm-hmm. Luckily, it was the latter, the routine interview, and they just wanted to establish that we had a real relationship. We had to answer a bunch of questions, show photos, and all that stuff. And then shortly after that, not even a couple of weeks, which is very fast from what our immigration attorney said, because usually it takes a couple of months. But we got his green card, so now he's, doesn't have to worry about removal for that. But you see the administration, I guess pulling people's, green card status back, arresting people with green card permanent residence. So you don't know with this president. He changes his mind on things that he wants to do, and he's definitely flexing his executive authorities around.
Yeah, anecdotally speaking, I've been told that there is a lot of fear in the community, and I'm just talking about in Killeen. Mm-hmm. People have told me they were afraid to leave their house for fear of being picked up by an ICE agent. But I do want to kind of take the opposing position for a minute here, which is that there's open borders. That's something that you hear very commonly as an argument that we just want the criminals who are illegal immigrants to be taken out of the country because they are making the country worse. And I just was wondering if you could respond to that particular argument, the argument that essentially says that this is just a part of like reforming the open borders policy, which, you know, it may be or may not be.
We're a nation of immigrants, right? No one here except the Native Americans were here. So everyone immigrated here to the United States. You know, we do need immigration reform, and that's what our leaders should be focusing on. You know, having immigration reform that reflects our values and reflects the wants of the country. Most of the people that come here are visa overstays. They're not people crossing illegally at the border, historically. So you got to look at why people are coming here and why they're staying from their visa overstays. So those are things that have to be done at the federal level. Those are federal laws and federal enforcement that needs to happen. And it's a totality of the courts, of ICE, and Border Patrol, and then the legislators.
Is there anything that can be done at the local and state level?
Well, I mean, there's all kind of things. There's programs that cities and counties allow immigrants to access that some do and some don't. If you look at our indigent healthcare program here in Bell County, we do capture information of immigrant status. Some counties are not allowing people that are undocumented to access that care. Bell County does. Some county commissioners wanted to change that policy, but based off of legal consultation with Texas Association of Counties, that they interpret the law as everyone should be entitled to indigent health care, just like everyone's entitled to school here in Texas. So if you're a legal immigrant or not, you get to go to school. And so that's kind of how they interpreted that.
Mm-hmm. And Brent, you touched about this a little bit, but what are some of the challenges with reporting on this subject? Because I mean, clearly, like there is a lack of communication, perceived or otherwise, coming from ICE, and you don't know everything. You mentioned that there was a couple of unknowns in there. So, what can you say about like some of the challenges of reporting on an issue like this?
I mean, it really seems to come down to who will speak up for somebody based on, you know, who knows them. Like you were talking to the families, families, friends, people who attorneys, people who know. See, this gentleman didn't have representation from an immigration attorney. He was appointed a federal public defender, and I'm still going to try to get a hold of that person, but I'm not sure. Not sure how much luck I'll have. I'm sure they've got plenty of cases on their hands, especially with the I don't know what 200 being filed per week in the Waco courthouse. I'm sure a lot of those people have been assigned public defenders, so they're probably working their butts off. Yeah, I mean it's really tough to get any kind of information. There's statistics, there's basic numbers from ICE that I've been able to get about who's in detention, or at least how many people are in particular detention facilities, and that'll include Bell County sometimes. I think I saw like one at a time.
Yeah. I mean, the mandated sheriff's office warrant officer program like we discussed earlier, would be 10 cases a day. But do we know how they're going to is it going to be in the normal course of their everyday duties where they just, you know, I'm pulling you over for like a broken windshield or something like that, and then it kind of escalates into like a immigration. Is not going to be anything like that.
It will not be anything out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So your immigration status, you know, the officer may or may not be able to determine that on site, unless you give that officer that information. But once you get into the jail, you know, they're going to book you. They're going to take all your bio data.
Right.
And see if you're in the United States system. If you're not in the United States system, you're going to be somewhere, you know, if you crossed over at a checkpoint or did any type of visa overstay, you're going to be in the immigration system. So they check both of those systems, and if you're not here legally, if you don't have a legal reason to be here, then that'll flag you, and that's where they'll start working with ICE to execute a warrant for removal if it's
So unless
available.
things drastically change.
I don't see it increasing if that's because the first thing that has to happen is you have to come in contact with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that could be for, you know, no license plate, for, you know, speeding, no seat belt, something like that. That's where you'll come into law enforcement.
Right, I see what you're saying.
And now I did notice something about the legislation in SB 8 that passed earlier this year. Now it said basically for the range of population of Bell County, signing an agreement between the sheriff's office and the state kind of opens up like $100,000, was it, to in potential grant funding. It didn't.
Right.
It wasn't very clear about if that's guaranteed or not, or it said the comptroller may accept gifts or grants or something like that to provide to sheriff's office. Have you heard anything about that? Whether that's going to cover everything that they're trying to do?
No, it wouldn't cover anything of. I mean, just one jailer, I think beginning pay for a jailer at the county is $55,000, $60,000 with benefits. So, I mean, it'll might cover one employee, but, you know, the Bell County Jail runs, you know, every day, 365 days a year. So, no, it would not cover what the county is going to do. It would just be probably an additional duty. ICE did say that they're going to come in with equipment and stuff that they need to process, and I guess they'll be processing on site instead of taking them and processing them somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Louie, before I let you go, I did want to ask you if you could maybe like broadly describe, and you did touch on this a little bit because when we were speaking earlier, but can you talk about what kind of changes happening to the country, the county, the city in regards to the way immigration is being enforced?
I think our immigration population is being used as a scapegoat to, you know, put fear in the community. The Republicans need a villain every election, whether it's trans people or immigrants that are coming to take your job, and that's why, you know, they don't want to fix the problem, because they've been successful using immigrants as a way to get elected and spread fear in the population. Once that we're past that, we'll be able to get immigration reform legislation because it won't be a useful tool in the electoral process.
Brent, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I don't. Commissioner Minor, thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak. I love listening to the podcast. Like I said, I added it to what I listen to now. So I appreciate y'all starting a podcast.
Thank you. And for those listening, please take a look at Brent Johnson's article coming up about the ICE detainee. This is Kevin Limity with KDH News. This has been the Inside Killeen podcast. It was produced by Hamida Bachaway. And that's it. Thank you. Have a good day.